Hey guys, what is up? It is Drew and we're back again with another video. Today what I'm just going to be going over is what is it like, owning this supercharged Mustang. As many of you don't know, I have a Roush Phase 1 supercharger, which it's not putting out humongous horsepower numbers by any means. It's not 8,000 horsepower Shelby GT 500, but it is definitely a bump up of what I've gotten before. If you don't know, I used to have a 2007 V6 Mustang, and pretty much what the V6 Mustang had was, I believe it was 210 crank horsepower. However, it was older, and best believe, those horsepower numbers were probably not 210 to the crank. It was more like 180, 190. So, and to the wheels, it was probably even less, maybe 150. So, it wasn't anything that extraordinary. But now that, my next car after selling that vehicle is a 2011 5.0 GT Mustang with a Roush Phase 1 supercharger with 575 horsepower. That's what the horsepower numbers are advertised from Roush with this kit. And I'm just going to be going over all the things that it is with owning, or what is it like owning this supercharged Mustang. The number one thing that I would say that is really different about this Mustang compared to my old one is this right here. So if you don't know, basically what I have right now is a 6-speed manual transmission, and it is definitely different from what I used to have. It was a 5-speed, the V6 Mustang. It was a manual also. So, I have some experience on it, but the number one thing with this kind of horsepower and a manual transmission is that you feel the power, I would say in my opinion, a lot more compared to if you owned a automatic transmission with this type of car with this horsepower numbers. Just because, if I wanted to, right now I'm just cruising in 5th gear, you can always just drop it down to 4th, and then 3rd, and then just it kicks you back into your seat. But where I feel like with the automatic transmission, I've only been in a few, but I always feel like they have just a split second of almost like a, I wouldn't say lag time, but it's just it's like half a second that it takes for the automatic transmission to kick into the gear that is most desirable for the type of acceleration that you're doing. Where with a manual, you can obviously, you already select the gear that you want, and it just feels like it's instant. So that's one thing that I would say. Something else about this Mustang is that with this type of horsepower, you definitely do not have the wheel size, in my opinion. Once you start getting into 500 horsepower, I feel like you need a wider rear tire, at least set up, at least in the rear. And that's pretty much just for traction in the summertime. And we had different types of temperatures. Some days it was like 70, the other days would be like 90. So on warm temperatures, it tends to get squirrely on you in first gear especially. But if you have at least the tires that are warmed up, you get them, by second gear you're definitely hooking up. But especially right now, I believe it's right now, as I'm recording it, it's December 1st, and right now it's 32 degrees outside. And so far I've been getting away with doing 4th gear wide open throttle pulls, but once I get down to 3rd gear, you know, if you're not used to it, then it'll definitely scare you. But basically, you'll lose traction for a couple seconds, you know. And you have to correct the steering pretty much. So, you know, once it gets to lower temperatures, I mean, that's just a obvious thing, but one thing that I feel like you definitely need once upgrading the horsepower numbers is pretty much getting a wider wheel setup. So right now that I'm just waiting in line, just want to discuss some other things. So with this kind of, you know, setup, you definitely need wider tires, and that's something that I'm going to be doing coming this next following summer. Is I'm planning on getting wider tires. Just right now I believe I have 255s, which is definitely not enough, you know. It doesn't hook up as much as I would like to, but I'd want to get at least 275s or 295s in the rear at least. So another thing that comes with owning this type of supercharged Mustang setup is it consumes a lot of gas. You know, most of the time, you know, I try to be conservative with it, which is something that I like. I can kick it into 6th gear and, you know, drive at like 35 miles per hour and still have no problem. But even with that, right now I'm averaging 13 mpg. Alright, so after I just got rudely interrupted by my bud Max. Alright, what was I talking about? Pretty much, it consumes a lot of gas, you know, which, I mean, it's one of those things that, you know, if you're getting this type of car with this type of horsepower, you're not expecting, you know, anything, you know, like my V6 Mustang used to get average, I think, 20 mpg. So it's not like you're expecting anything like that. So, you know, I knew that coming into this, you know, into this vehicle that, you know, it would, you know, obviously consume a lot of gas, but honestly not this much gas. So I don't know, maybe it's just my car, because supposedly I've had other people say that, you know, they're averaging like 15, 16. So it's like, okay, that's a little weird, but that's just how it is with me and my car personally. Just the last and final thing that I would say that, you know, I've learned or have, you know, gone through or experienced with owning this type of Mustang, you know, a supercharged Mustang, is the overall temptation to just floor it at, you know, any stoplight, you know, just flooring it, you know, foot down, balls to the wall, you know, just full wide open throttle, you know, because it's one of those things that it's just addicting, you know. Boost is very addicting. You just want to just floor it every single time. And that's the thing, that's the reason why I actually got a radar detector, because I knew, you know, coming into this, I would be very tempted, you know, and I would end up flooring it here and there. I'm not that crazy, but, you know, for me, you know, not being that crazy with this type of, you know, horsepower, still I get tempted to floor it. So that's why I needed a radar detector to kind of watch over my back, you know, see what's, you know, just almost like a second person watching out for me. And that was, you know, pretty much it. But temptation with flooring it, you know, needing wider tires, and obviously the gas consumption is, I'd say, 3 of the biggest things that I've experienced with owning this 2011 supercharged Mustang. Alright guys, so that's just pretty much it. You know, I just wanted to get a nice, you know, quick video out for you guys, just explaining my overall experience. I'm coming up on my first year of actually owning the car, so I'm just gonna be, you know, getting out a video to you on that, you know, just some things that I've encountered with owning this car. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe on the video, and until next time, it is Drew, and I'm out. Peace. What do you do, baby? that's pretty much it. I'm out.